You're a grim-looking bastard, so you are.
How are you, Dan? Nice to meet you today. So I'm glad you came along for this interview. We've been wanting to talk to you for a long time, obviously. You're really making a big splash, well, pretty much everywhere. Tell us, Dan, where do you think things really start to take off for you?
You've an awful accent, you know that. You remind me of me dad, and he was a bastard, so he was.
Tell us about your dad.
Why?
I don't know, I'm just interested.
You've no fucking business talking about me dad. He was a good man. I don't give a shit that he used to bring them fucking machete to bed with him. He was still a good man. Fuck off with yourself.
But what about a 1998 claim that he was abusing you, which you made to the guards?
Look, it's plain and simple. The fact of the matter is, he made me say that. He made me go to the guards and tell them, that he was fucking abusing me. He was baiting me and like putting my head in the toilet and all this, which it was happening. But the point of the matter is, he told me to go to the guards and dare me to tell them. So I did, and they didn't do anything. What?
Do you think he respected you because of that? Because you took up his dare? Do you think that that helped at all?
Yes, I think it did.
Good. How old were you then?
It went on for a while, see. I suppose when I was about 6, when it started. And then it kind of subdued once he had that stroke, when he was about 13. So it was 7 years of hell, pretty much. But I got through it, and I got to be the person I am today.
You're facing a lot of accusations that have just come up recently that when you were 8 years old, you caused the death of your sister.
Who told you that?
Your ma.
She would, wouldn't she? Look, I'm going to keep saying that a lot. You know this. But the fact of the matter is that my ma, she was a drunk, okay? She never did any work. She never did the housework. The house was always a tip. Because she would just sit on the edge of the bed all day drinking gin. Yeah, gin. It was gin. But she moved on to heavier stuff. I mean, by the time of her death, she was, God bless her, she was 75 when she died, having given birth to me at 64. So, she was good at that. But, what really bugged me is when she died, at the age of 74. How old did I say she died? 74, wasn't it? Yeah, 74. She was drinking bottles of absinthe at a time. You know, she was a hardcore alcoholic, but she respected me. Oh God, I remember the joke she told me. She was like, Dan, you'll never make anything of yourself if you don't go to work. And this made sense. So I went out. I got a job. Mind you, it was only in the slaughter factory, but it was still a job. And I don't care. I stand by my job. And that job led on to another job, which led on to my start of my music career, which led on to the start of my film career, which led on to the start of my TV career.
Now, you've been taking a lot of flack for your recent approval and production rights of a show based around the Holocaust. Now, without going too far into the controversy, because I'm pretty sure everyone alive
that
knows
was so much fun to film.
I know, but I don't know. I can understand why the film community would object to you filming a kind of passionate drama about the Holocaust with all the actors in blackface.
That wasn't my idea. That was Jeff Bridges' idea with the blackface. Because me and him, we were good buddies. We would make a lot of wishes. And what we would do is we would sit there in our room. We were undercover. And we would come up with ideas for films. And once we come up with the idea, we come up with ideas within the films, as in, what will make this film stand out more? And he said, well, if we're doing a film about the Holocaust, I can't do his accent, so if we were doing a film about the Holocaust, I think we should have all the Jews, not as German Jews, like white Jews, but we should have them as black Jews. So, you know, it was a plan, and one thing led to another, and, you know, here we are.
Would you say that including the Jews dressed in blackface and having no real comment on the film is a political statement?
I think I'm sorry. I'm thinking back to this film, it was so much fun. I mean, They were real black Jews. They weren't actors. They were real black Jews, and they're hard to come by. They're expensive.
And yet you still dress them up in blackface.
The cameras we were using weren't all that great. We would film somebody, like they'd be over there, and we'd be here, and we'd film them. And because they were black, and the shite cameras we were using, they wouldn't be black. They'd be kind of half cast. So they'd look more Indian or Pakistani than they would actually African.
And obviously that wouldn't suit for a drama about the Holocaust.
No,
That'd just be satirical.
No, exactly. I mean, if you had a fucking Hitler King killing a bunch of banditos from Mexico or a bunch of fucking wogs, I mean, it's not. It's just going to be funnier than what we made. Although what we made wasn't intentionally funny. I still think of it as a comedy.
That would explain, well, at the end, when the concentration camp is liberated by Russian soldiers, they're tap dancing constantly.
Yes.
And that's like a good chunk of the last half an hour of the film is focusing on one sole Russian soldier, who I believe is credited in the scripts as Alexei.
Yes.
Just tap dancing with a big smile on his face. Is that a political statement, or is that more of an artistic statement?
I think at the time it was a political statement because what with the sorry, I got cancer. Fucking it's just that's not the point. The tap dancing is a political statement because we thought that the Russians, we saw the Germans obviously as the bad guys of the war, but did we have to film this in an industrial estate?
Well, I don't know if it was you, it was your production company, somebody asked us, sent us a letter requesting, could you please film this in an industrial estate? And when our production company is pretty small, we're not one to make trouble. So apologies,
It's okay. It's just the dogs, but okay.
I know they're stripping a human carcass bear.
No, it's not that. It's just background noise. You can't hear my voice. People won't get the message. But my point, going back, it was a political statement because we thought the Germans were obviously the bad guys of the war, but the Russians, they were the real bad guys, I think, because they led to the Cold War intentionally. They set it up, so that's why we had this political statement of this Russian soldier dancing on the remnants of World War II. It was just, it was an oblivion. It was a kids. No, it was a. Sorry, I've lost my train of thought. Where was I? Oh, yes. Cigarettes. Yes. It was a political statement because I think that, as I said, the Russians led to the Cold War through World War II. So it was kind of dancing on what happened in World War II and saying, we're going to make it fucking worse. But, it was a barefaced political statement. And personally, the people who don't see it as that, well, they're not proper film watchers, they're not film goers.
No, I understand. Now, I prefer not to focus too much on that controversy as it's distracting a lot from the fact that your film career has really taken on a kind of momentum of its own in the last 2 years, maybe.
What, with the remaking of Predators and all?
Yes, the remaking of Predators, a mere 2 years. Maybe even just one. I'm sorry, I haven't got the dates right in mind.
There's a funny thing about when we were filming... Oh, Jesus. There's a funny thing about when we were filming that. There was a lot of predators in it. It was just basically predators fighting predators in a volcano.
Yes, but the thing is, what made the film unique is the decision to not show any violence at all. To merely, most of the action is focused on a small child taking,
Oh, that child was so much fun. That child was a complete fucking stoner. I mean, every time he was on camera, he was high as a fucking kite. I swear, even though he was only 6, his fucking parents raised him like a badass cunt, so they did.
And, a lot of it is him just staring at the camera with big wide-eyed glare. That makes more sense now, to be honest. But...
actually, it does now, doesn't it?
Yes, but it's certainly a unique cinematographical decision.
Yes.
So, do you think that, given the momentum your film career has taken off, that this latest spate of accusations against pretty much all your recent films, but most likely, I'm dancing through the corpses, the Holocaust thing we were talking to beforehand, just, do you think that your film career has reached its peak at this point? I know that's an awfully pointed question to ask.
You're right, it is. I don't really like you for asking it, but
I've got to, you know what I mean.
sadly, yes. But, right. My film...
The dogs. The dogs. The dogs!
But, we were talking about a film. My film.
Yes.
For my future film career.
Yes.
My film's career. It isn't over. I mean, I'm 43. Of course it's not over. I've got another 20 years left in me. I can go from the badass young... not the badass young, that's the second stage. The first stage. Going from 16 to 18. The yappy little fucker in the corner. Like in the mafia film. It's like, hey Louie, you got a fat on your ass or what? And, you know, it would start like that. And then, as I progressed through my 20s to my late 30s, I became kind of, like in World War II, I did a lot of World War II based films back when I was that age. But, those World War II, I was playing a particular role. I was playing the kind of the silent, you know, the doesn't say much but kills all the motherfuckers kind of soldier that gets killed just before the end, which the sergeant goes, you know, he was a good man. He fought for his country and died for his country. And, you know, that was the roles I played. But as I progressed through my 30s, as to where I am now, I'm kind of just playing the kind of the, you know, just retired ex-commando who came back because the general said, we're in a sticky situation, we need your help. You're the only one that can help us. And he was like, yeah, okay, whatever, for my country. You know, he was just that kind of person. And I feel as I age more, I'm gonna get more kind of, you know, kind of Gandalf roles, like the wise old man who give information to the young people to help them defeat the evil empires, you know. Kind of like a Yoda or an Obi-Wan role, you know.
No, I understand what you mean. It's very unusual to find an actor who is really understanding of the fact that, you know, each age period of acting, you know, you can't continue playing the same roles forever. And I think it's very perceptive of you as an actor at your age to realise these things. Now, Dan, I understand you requested that we take a quick break halfway through the interview so you can deal with other matters.
Yeah.
I won't pry.
Yeah, my divorce is on hand, and my ex-wife, sorry, she really isn't letting go on this. She wants every second of my time to get this done as quickly as possible. So, as my producer requested,
So, we'll take a quick break. We'll be back to you in a little while.
Okay.